Hey there, nature lovers. It is Jackie from Eco Endeavor, and today I'm going to share with you my top 3 ways of how to turn sandy soil into rich, organic, loamy soil. Starting with number 3, third on the list is cover cropping. So I use a variety of cover crops to make sure that the ground is always covered with something. So I use clover, micro clover, as my ground cover in my pathways. And then I cover crop with winter field peas and hairy fetch. Now my ultimate favorite cover crop is winter field peas. These things are soil building rock stars. So my winter field peas are one of the first things to pop up in spring, and I let them self-seed. So I do let some of them go to seed so they will continue to self-seed in my garden. So when they come up, I let them grow until flowering stage, and then I cut them when they are flowering. And what happens is the plant then releases the nitrogen that it's in its nodules. So anything in the legume family, like the clover as well, sucks nitrogen out of the air and creates its own nitrogen, and it's in these little nodules and its root balls. So when you cut back those winter field peas, they will release that nitrogen into the soil, adding that, which makes it available to plants nearby and helps build up the nutrients in the soil. And then the plant will regrow. After you've cut your peas, you can then mix it into the soil, or you can just leave it on top and let it decompose on its own. So I have winter field peas growing constantly in my garden and at different stages where I am chopping them back and dropping them. That's a permaculture term for chop and drop, and to not take it and go move it to the compost, but to let it decompose and cover your soil right where you've chopped it. So number 3 is that cover cropping. Make sure you are using a cover crop. Second thing you need to do to help build up that soil is loam, which means adding organic matter. Any sort of organic matter. So here I have wood chips. I started with wood chips as the first layer to adding to the garden, and everything was covered with wood chips. Wood chips slowly decompose, and they are helping to build the soil by adding that organic matter. I also add leaves to the garden every fall. I add seaweed every fall as well. And anything that I do with chop and drop, when the plants are at the end of their life, I chop them and drop them down, or some plants I grow specifically to be able to add organic matter, such as comfrey, which then grows big, and I chop it and drop it down. So by adding organic matter, you are allowing that to break down right where it is, and you're helping to build up the soil integrity by adding the organic matter. A good, healthy topsoil has about 6% organic matter, so to build that topsoil, you need to be adding organic matter and allowing those decomposers to eat through it and chew it up and to turn it into nutrient-rich soil. So I would say diversify your organic matter as much as possible. Grass clippings, manure, straw. If you are using straw manure, make sure you go and watch this video on graze-on toxins that could be in that before you put that on your garden, because you could do some serious damage if your manure or straw has herbicides in it. All other plant matter, wood chips, seaweed, whatever you have in the form of natural organic matter, you need to keep adding this to your garden. And I just layer it on. I just keep layering and layering and layering like lasagna method, and I let it compost in place. So that is tip number 2 for soil building, is adding organic matter. Now for my number 1 way that I'm turning my standing soil into rich, organic, loamy soil, we're gonna have to go for a little hunt. But I promise we will not have to hunt for long.
Oh, there's one right there. These little guys are red wigglers, and they are the most amazing composting worms. Red wigglers are different from earthworms. They're a little bit smaller, and they eat through tons of organic matter, and then their worm castings are amazing, rich nutrients that are just going to boost your garden. Red wigglers are commonly used in vermicomposting systems. I have an indoor vermicomposting system that I use, which I will link above. I have a full video on start to finish of how to start a bin. Their worm castings are just the most incredible source of nutrients for your plants. Just by adding my vermicomposting, like the worm castings, to my garden, I have managed to add these worms as well, because a couple of worms will get into the garden through the castings, or the worm eggs are in the castings, and they are able to just double their population in about 3 months. So they are completely everywhere in my garden now. The birds love these little guys, but I also love them because they chew through so much organic matter. So I can just compost right in place, or I can do trench composting in different areas, and they will just eat through it all. They are just the queens of composting. They are amazing little worms that if you do not have red wigglers in your garden, you should definitely start a worm bin and then grow the population and add these to your garden. These red wigglers are literally my secret weapon in why I've been able to support all of these plants to grow in sand.
So if you can see the difference, our red wigglers are significantly smaller. Like some of them do get pretty big, like this guy that's trying to crawl off my hand right here. But in general, they are darker red, purpley almost, compared to the earthworms. So I planted my food forest here 2 years ago. It just turned 2 a couple weeks ago, into my native ground, which is just basically sandy gravel. And I've been on a soil building mission since then. And these 3 techniques are what I've been using to help turn the sand into healthier soils for my plants. If you've gotten some value out of this video already, please consider liking and subscribing. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.